On the evening of April 13, when Iran launched an attack on Israel, the United States and its allies intervened to assist in intercepting almost all of the over 300 ballistic missiles and armed drones. This intervention is logical given that Iran is a major adversary of not only Israel but also the United States, all Western countries, and numerous Arab nations. Interestingly, Iran's jihadi aspirations have recently made a striking entry into the American mainland. A few weeks ago, hundreds of demonstrators supporting Iran and Hamas assembled in Dearborn, Michigan, shouting Iran's infamous war slogan, "Death to America, death to Israel." Despite Iran's clear global jihadi objective to annihilate the little Satan, Israel, first, and then the great Satan, America, and despite its sinister penetration into mainstream America, Biden continues to placate the Islamic Republic with gentle diplomacy, while Israel recognizes that the battle against Iran and its proxies Hamas and Hezbollah is a matter of life and death. Biden and other Western leaders seem to think they are safe from the Iranian threat. However, even today, many of Iran's missiles can easily hit NATO countries, most of which lack Israel's air defense systems. Regrettably, Iran's recent firing of more than 300 ballistic missiles and armed drones from its own territory makes the jihadi nation appear more audacious than ever. Yet, with bitter irony, Biden and other Western leaders still advise restraint, emphatically instructing Israel not to retaliate. Iran has not only declared war on Israel, but also on the United States, multiple times. In essence, Israel's war against Hamas and Iran is also America's war. A successful strategy for the Biden administration to secure his next election victory and to earn a respected place in history would be to fully support Israel in its response to Iran's attack and in its war against Hamas. Secondly, it is incumbent upon the White House to demonstrate to Iran, through clear, painful military action, that the games are over, that Iran's recent aggression will not be tolerated, and future attacks will be met with harsher, even more devastating responses. Iran has been steadily gearing up for a war with the United States, as well as Israel, posing a threat to Arab states and Western Europe as well. On October 26, the Iranian foreign minister warned that if Israel did not cease its attack on Hamas, the United States would not be spared from this fire. Indeed, Iranian proxies have significantly escalated their attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East. Between October 17 and January 29 alone, Iranian proxies attacked U.S. forces in the region 165 times. In January, 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in Jordan by missiles fired by an Iran proxy. Moreover, the chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, General Mohammad Bagheri, threatened that any support by Washington for an Israeli counterattack would result in U.S. bases being targeted. Iran-sponsored Houthi militants are causing global economic chaos by attacking shipping in the Red Sea. The policies of the Biden administration have only helped Iran's war efforts against Israel and the West. First, Biden attempted to renegotiate the nuclear deal that the Obama administration had reached with the Islamic Republic. This agreement could have provided Iran with an estimated $50 billion in sanctions relief that would undoubtedly be used to finance terrorism. And crucially, the deal would not have prevented Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. In fact, the terms of the agreement would have allowed Iran to almost fully resume nuclear weapons development by 2026. Fortunately, Biden's attempts to revive the disastrous Iran deal were unsuccessful. However, he has still released billions of dollars in sanctions relief to Iran. Late last year, he gave the Islamist dictatorship $6 billion in frozen funds in exchange for 5 American hostages, without any mechanism to prevent these funds from being used to fund terrorism. This sends a message to the mullahs that taking hostages pays. Unsurprisingly, Iran's proxy Hamas took this message to heart when it kidnapped more than 250, some 8 of whom were American citizens. Even after the unprecedented attack by Iran on U.S. ally Israel, Biden and other Western leaders still want to prevent Israel from defending itself. Israel is America's strongest, most committed, most consistently loyal U.S. ally. Yet a report in Politico reveals that following the belligerent attack on Israel from Iranian soil, Biden essentially told Netanyahu to take the win, given that Israel escaped the attack largely unscathed. Yet no other country, including the United States, would tolerate such an attack without a vigorous response. What is Biden's strategy, except to avoid angering Iran? What win is there if Iran is emboldened rather than deterred? By counseling Israel not to retaliate for Iran's recent assault, the president was sending a message that the mullahs can freely attack America's allies without so much as a whimper from America itself. Now, the war Israel is fighting on behalf of the West has reached America's shores. Last week, thousands of pro-Hamas, pro-Iran demonstrators took to the streets across the United States, blocking roads, causing chaos, and disrupting the lives of hard-working Americans. In New York City, protesters waved the banner of Hezbollah high even as they burned American flags and chanted, "Death to America," but rather than fiercely denounce these threats as Americans would expect, President Biden was silent, seemingly at pains not to offend the sensibilities and votes of pro-jihadi Americans. Yet he risks more by condemning Israel's efforts to stop Iran and defeat Hamas, as well as snubbing the huge majority of Americans who support the Jewish state. This is a losing strategy for both upcoming elections and the fight against Iran. Appeasement did not stop Hitler from waging his campaign of genocide and conquest, nor will it prevent Iran's mullahs from doing the same. It is in America's best interest to encourage and aid Israel in defeating Hamas and responding to Iran unrestrained. Likewise, it serves U.S. global interests to join the fight. Iran has made this war our war, like it or not.